A few minutes' walk from my bus stop took me up the pleasant tree-lined street Via Goffredo Mameli. Literally every Italian knows that Goffredo Mameli is the author of the text to the Italian national anthem. The Roman street named for him is in a quieter, slightly hilly neighborhood in Trastevere. My destination was Zia Restaurant. They used the English word in their name rather than the Italian ristorante. I forgot to ask why in the course of the evening. In any case, I was greeted warmly by the head waitress Valentina, who quickly brought me a glass of the house champagne from Sadi Malo, called L'Équilibre. A quick look at the menu confirmed my decision to order the 6-course tasting menu with wine accompaniment. And then, as I sipped my champagne, I took in the attractive details of my environment and the view to Via Santini outside. The 3 amuse-bouches were a collection of white, yellow, and green. A round bowl of goat mozzarella in its own way at the front, a boat-shaped crispy tart with 2 different kinds of tomato, and a half-moon cornmeal wafer with kiwi and bergamot flavored with Benefort, a wormwood-based bitter from the Valle d'Aosta. A chiseled sage leaf rested on top. The amuse-bouche continued with a slice of pork belly grilled for 8 hours on the barbecue at a super low temperature. I told waiter Fabio, "Anytime I have bacon for breakfast from now on, I want it like this." Its accompaniment was a bright red pepper aspic with a perfect tarragon leaf on top. I could get through a whole bowl of that red pepper aspic, even without the tarragon. We moved to a white wine from 2007, Colle Gaio, made from 100% Malvasia, from Casalpilozzo in Lazio, to the southeast of Rome. It went with the first starter, a grilled lettuce leaf. When cut into, the leaf revealed an oyster in milk, flavored with the Spanish gin mare, whose distinctive ingredient is the arbequina olive, plus cucumber and celery. While it isn't necessarily photogenic, the antipasto was a delight for the palate. From Borgo Savoian in Cormons in Friuli came the next wine, an orange wine named Aranzat, which is Friulian dialect for orange. The wine is a 70% Pinot Grigio, 30% Sauvignon Blanc blend, and this was the unfiltered version. Along with it, the second starter, a veal sweetbread stuffed with dried tomatoes, served alongside a mesclun of spontaneously growing field herbs. I love sweetbreads, as you know, and I adore mesclun as well, so this dish, perfectly conceived and executed, made me very happy. We continued with a traditional primo from Emilia-Romagna, cappelletti, filled with chicken in a chicken broth. While I believe the Emilian classic Christmas version uses capon broth, I was certainly fine with the chicken broth. Valentina informed me that the bubbles in the broth came from nutmeg-flavored olive oil. For the next wine, we moved to a red called Il Buio from Il Tagliato in Greve in Chianti, with a black label befitting its dark name. The wine was a Sangiovese blend, not surprising for a Tuscan red. Here, the cuvée was 40% Sangiovese with 60% Ancelotta, an ancient variety from Emilia-Romagna used to give more color to red wines. Beef for the secondo, in particular, beef from the Marengo breed, a cross between Black Angus and Maremma cattle, which roam freely in an area not too far from Rome. This outstanding beef lay on a hazelnut cream, semi-visible under the meat, and there were drops of sesame oil on top. In addition, in a separate little well, there was caramelized foie gras on apricot jam, and a little plate of mesclun and sea herbs. I had to inquire as to what these were: sea fennel, or samphire, and sea asparagus, or salicornia. Apparently, there are differences between these two that I wasn't aware of, but I'll leave the culinary botany explications to the true experts. Especially interesting was the dressing, which contained seawater, candied lemon, and a tiny bit of primo sale cheese, I was told, although I couldn't trace that visually. Despite the luxuriousness of the other ingredients, the salad held its own. Details like this, which are out of the spotlight, make a big difference to me. Oh yes, and lest I forget, the bread was enhanced with dried figs and dried apricots. 2 desserts. Number 1, called simply pompelmo, grapefruit. It contained no sugar outside the natural sugars of the grapefruit. There was a champagne and angostura bitters-based granita at the top. Once more, as a garnish, a tarragon leaf, which we last encountered with the red pepper aspic, was again a good herbal flavor note to go with the citrus. The last course was something Zia is famous for. It's tourbillon. Tourbillon means whirlwind or flurry or whirl or swirl in French. The dessert we're looking at had a short crust base enriched with almonds, and around the base was a praline made with almonds and hazelnuts. At the very top was the spiral shape of the tourbillon. I was told it was made with double cream and vanilla, and the form was shaped on a 45 RPM record player. I'm not quite sure how they managed that, but I accepted the explanation as it was given to me and set about eating this marvelous creation. Given its elaborate shape and construction, it almost seemed like vandalism to cut into it. However, I soon overcame my reticence and relished the exquisite flavor. Untypically for me, I decided to have a coffee after dinner, but beforehand, I stepped outside to enjoy a bit of mild night air. Along with the coffee came a very original post-dessert, a scoop of zabaione gelato. Behind it was a little bowl of viciole, small sour cherries, in spirit made from the same sour cherries. The zabaione gelato and spirit-soaked cherries were the perfect ending to a wonderful dinner at Zia.